Hi everybody, welcome to the Scott Show, the Scott Sports Show. I think this is probably one of my favorite shows to do here on the Scott Show. I know that I talk a lot. Everyone has always told me that, so hey, I might as well have a little bit of fun and make a little bit of money doing it, right, folks? There you go. I heard you guys say amen, so there you are. If not, the Scriptures with Scott Show, so we're not at church. But we are on a Holy Sunday coming up, week 2 of the NFL, and we got some big games coming up. But first of all, I have to tell you guys how great last week was. I want to thank you all from the bottom of my heart for listening to the show. We got lots of great response, but the best response we got was from the NFL teams themselves, as my picks went 13 wins, 2 losses, and 1 tie. 13-1. Amazing record so far. Winning record so far, even with a winning point percentage of 116. I'd like to thank the Baltimore Ravens for that. I'd like to thank the New England Patriots for that, as they won handily 49 in the game of Baltimore and Miami, and 30 with New England and Pittsburgh. So I got some picks this week. Let's see how I do. I hope that I do good, but I can't beat 13-2-1, folks, unless I go undefeated. Or of course, if I go 14-2, which would get me one more win, or 15-1. So, nah. Alright, to all you math whizzes, good for you. Alright, so here are my picks for NFL Week 2 after that great week of 13-2-1. Here we go. So I'm going to pick Carolina to beat Tampa Bay. They are in Carolina. I got Carolina in this game. They brought the Rams to the limit. So go Panthers. Now, I'm a Panthers fan somewhat. I do dabble with other teams. I like Cam Newton, so I've always enjoyed Carolina. And next, starting on Sunday, starting in the it'd be noon our time, 1 Eastern, we have San Francisco and Cincinnati. San Francisco and Cincinnati played in the Super Bowl a long time ago. San Francisco won that game. I think it's going to be just like that. San Francisco is going to win here at Cincinnati to go 2-0 on the season. There you go. I think San Francisco will do great if they do that. Alright, the Chargers are going to go to Detroit, Ford Field. Chargers are going to win. They're going to beat the Lions and help out the winner and loser of the next game that I got going on. And that is the border battle itself. Green Bay and Minnesota. Now, let me tell you something, folks. I am from Duluth, Minnesota. I have lived in Superior, Wisconsin almost half of my existence. I lived over here the other half with minor inconveniences in other places. But I have decided that for the picks, I'm going to pick both teams at home. So this one I'm going to pick Green Bay at home against Minnesota. Now, if I'm wrong, I'm cool. And that's fine. But I'm going to pick Green Bay at home. And then day before my birthday, December 24th, by the way, I will pick Minnesota at home. Because I think these two teams are just going to be phenomenal for the rest of the season. I can see great things and playoff implications going with both of these games. And so Green Bay, Minnesota, I pick Green Bay at home in Lambeau. Then we have Indianapolis and Tennessee. Indianapolis still reeling off the loss of their quarterback, Andrew Luck. I'm going to go with Tennessee on this game. We have New England and Miami. Let me tell you something, folks. New England won by 30 points last week. Miami lost by 49. So, I think I'm going to have to pick New England on this game. If I'm wrong, though, I'm cool with that, too, because I'm not a huge New England fan. But I do have to pick New England over Miami in this game. I will also pick Buffalo, the Bills, over the Giants. Buffalo beat the Jets. Now they got the other New York team. Of course, they're a New York team. And I'm going to say that they do the trifecta, or they wouldn't do the trifecta. They would do the, they beat them. So let's just say Buffalo over the Giants in MetLife Stadium, where they played last week. They played the Jets. Then we have Seattle and Pittsburgh. The Seahawks, I'm going to pick them. They're a good team. They got number 13 with them. 13th man. And so I'm going to pick Seattle. I do got to give a shout out to the Seahawks for coming up with some great artistic stuff using indigenous people for their flyers and some of the other stuff going on and their programs. So shout out to the Seahawks for that. Dallas over Washington. I have Dallas defeating the mighty Redskins. And then Baltimore over Arizona. They are in Baltimore. So I'm going to give it to the Ravens. Houston, the Texans at home against Jacksonville. I don't think you can beat that. I'm gonna pick the Houston Texans in Houston over the Jacksonville Jaguars. Kansas City over Oakland. That's my pick for the first of the afternoon games. There are 3 afternoon games, which is kind of an interesting thing. 3 afternoon games, but there's like 10 games at 1 o'clock. So there's Kansas City, Oakland, which I have Kansas City. I'm picking the Bears over Denver. They're at Denver at Mile High, but I'm picking the Bears. And I'm doing this for my awesome friend Tammy, who I bet last week when it was the Bears and the Packers. I bet on the Packers, she bet on the Bears. She owes me lunch. But this time I'm picking the Bears to beat the Broncos. Unless Tammy wants a rematch, then I'm totally cool with that. But for these picks, for my NFL picks of the week, it's going to be Chicago over Denver. And then I got the Rams defeating the Saints, which should be a very interesting game, folks. The Rams and the Saints. I don't think there's any love lost there, so we'll see what happens. It is in LA, so it'll be a very interesting game. Philadelphia, I have them defeating the Atlanta Falcons. Philadelphia did good for me last week, beating Washington, and of course Minnesota defeated Atlanta. So I got Philadelphia in this game, going to Atlanta and taking the W. And in the last game, the Monday night game, the only Monday night game this time, which I think is going to be a more interesting game than people assume. And I'm going to call this my game of the week. I couldn't even call a game of the week last week, but I guess the best game was Detroit and Arizona since they tied. But I'm going to call this the game of the week. It's the Browns and the Jets. I'm picking the Browns in this one. Go Baker Mayfield. I have a little bit of faith still in you. Don't let me down. So I got the Browns over the Jets. Now I did go 13-2-1 last week. One of my losses was, of course, Cleveland over Tennessee. It was Tennessee over Cleveland by 30. And I did not pick the Jets. I picked the Bills, and the Jets beat them, or the Bills beat them by 1. So let's hope that it's a little bit closer of a game. And I got Cleveland in this one. So I will name them one more time, but just a heads up, folks, you are listening to the ScottShow.com. We are live, patreon.com/ScottShow. We are also on our YouTube, which doesn't have a name yet. I'm working on that. And also we're on SoundCloud. We're on Tumblr, The Scott Show on Tumblr. I think The Scott Show on SoundCloud. So we are all over the place. Check us out. Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. And make sure you give us all follows, unmentionable follows. Alright, so I'm going to read this off really quick. These are my NFL picks for Week 2. It is Carolina, San Francisco, the LA Chargers, Green Bay, Tennessee, New England, Buffalo, Seattle, Dallas, Baltimore, Houston, Kansas City, Chicago, LA Rams, Philadelphia, and the Cleveland Browns. Now, let's hope, folks, that there is a win there. So, like I said, I want to thank you guys for listening to this podcast, The Scott Show, on thescottshow.com. This is the sports show. We will be talking lots more sports here soon, as we go along here on thescottshow.com. One thing I do want to let you guys know is we will be covering the XFL as it kicks off in 2020 in the spring. So if you guys didn't get enough of the NFL pick'ems for 17 games straight plus the playoffs, we are going to be covering the NFL or the XFL as that launches. So I will be doing an XFL preview for the year. We don't have names of too many of the people yet that are going to be on the teams, but I'm still going to talk about the teams. They're really cool names, I think, and just a little bit of insight on how it's going to go. So look forward to that podcast, the XFL, here on the Scott Show Sports Show. Also, we will be covering the NCAA Division I and lower divisions, along with hockey. We will be also covering that this year as well. And I look forward to that. The hockey season does start. I believe the Bulldogs start on the 5th of October. So we will be covering some of their games, reviews, previews, and all that other great stuff. So check out awesome stuff on the Scott Show Sports Show. Also, we have 14 different channels right now. We have our newest one, Scott Show Foodie, which is going to be uploading here shortly. It will be a great discussion about food and food-related byproducts that you can buy, that you can eat, you can drink. We will be talking beer with some of our dear friends. So look forward to that. The Scott Show Foodie on thescottshow.com. So check us all out, all over the place. Like, share, subscribe, like I said, and we'll see you guys here real soon on thescottshow.com.